Okay, guys, so let's imagine you've been calling through our database, which is online on Google Docs, as you should be able to see here. And you've come to a prospect which you have done the pitch and they've accepted a meeting, which is great. So what you're doing, as soon as they sound positive, like they're going to accept the meeting, you're going to be looking on your calendar and on your Google calendar. You're of the consultants, I should say. So you're going to have multiple calendars open, like these, of the different consultants. You're going to be speaking with the client simultaneously while looking at the calendars, and they're going to say, "Okay, it sounds interesting. Let's have the meeting later this week." And you can say, "Okay, I'm looking at the agendas of the consultants, Mr. Prospect. Just to make it more convenient, which part of the city are you in? Which colonia?" And they might say, "My office is based in Santa Fe." And you're going to be looking at the calendar here, and in all of the entries, there should be the area of the city in the title. Okay, so as you can see here, there's a meeting in Lomas de Chapultepec. There's a meeting in Santa Fe, Reforma, Colonia Joco. Okay. And you're going to say, well, actually, Mr. Prospect, one of our senior consultants, Elliot Dixon, is going to be in Santa Fe on Wednesday. He's going to be finishing a meeting at about 12:30. Do you think it would be possible to see you at 1 p.m. on Wednesday? And you're going to see if he's available. And you can say, okay, that's not a problem if Wednesday is not possible. Alternatively, he's going to be there for another meeting on Thursday. Could we see you on Thursday morning at, say, 9 a.m. or on Thursday afternoon at 1 p.m.? If they can't do it, don't worry. Especially early on, you just want to get your meetings, okay? But if you hear the client is in Santa Fe and you can see the consultant is going to be in Santa Fe, please try and book the meeting for close by to those times, because Mexico City is, I guess, about 3 or 4 times the size of Manila, and the traffic is twice as bad. Really, it's a horrible job for the consultants traveling across the city. It can take over 2 hours to get from one side of the city to the other, sometimes 3 hours with traffic. So really, really try to put the meetings close together if they're in the same area. What we don't want is to have a meeting. So he's already going to Santa Fe at Thursday at 11 a.m. We don't want to put a meeting at 7 p.m. in Santa Fe, okay? Because he's going to go all the way back to Colonia Joco and then all the way back to Santa Fe. We want to avoid that at all costs. In Mexico, we leave 90 minutes for a first meeting, and we try to leave 60 to 90 minutes in between each meeting, unless it's the case, like I just mentioned, where they're in the same colonia. So if it's 2 meetings in Santa Fe, 30 minutes should be fine. Okay, so you can just leave 30 minutes in between. But if it was a meeting in Colonia Cuauhtemoc, or Colonia Polanco, you would really want to have if it was going to be on Thursday morning, you would want to put the meeting at 8:30. So if we put that in for 90 minutes, that's going to finish at 10. So all our meetings take 90 minutes, imagine. In Mexico, they take 90 minutes. So that would leave us an hour to get to the next meeting, as you can see here. So generally, we leave 60 to 90 minutes. In Costa Rica, it's slightly different. The meetings just take about 30 minutes to an hour. So you can put the meetings you could put one at 9 a.m., which would finish at 10. and then you could have the next meeting at 11. 60 minutes in between would be fine, because San Jose in Costa Rica is smaller than Mexico City. Okay, but as a general rule, 60 to 90 minutes in between each meeting, and try to put them in the same area. Okay, so you're going to be looking at the calendar, and you're going to find a convenient space. So let's imagine you do it for 8:30 on Thursday, a meeting in Santa Fe. What you're going to do is, just while you're on the call, you don't need to do the whole Google Calendar thing. Just make a note of the date and the time and get all the information from the prospect. After the call, what you need to do is put the meeting in the agenda. You're not going to put it directly into the consultant's agenda. You're going to make a note of the time to make sure he's free. So we're going to do it at 28th of May at 8:30 a.m. You're then going to go to your own personal calendar. You see this one is mine, dbaker3006. And you're going to go in and put the meeting in here, okay? And I'm going to show you how to share it to his calendar in a little while. Firstly, let's go through the title. The title will begin with your initials in brackets. So in this case it's DB. And then it's the type of meeting. All your meetings, you're only going to be booking first meetings or introductory meetings. These are called firsts. Later meetings are called fact finds or 1.5 meetings or seconds, but that's not your concern. Our job is just to book the first meeting with the prospect. So it's going to be your initials, followed by first, followed by the prospect's name. Let's just use my example from the previous video, which was myself. Okay, so followed by the name, and then the @ sign, or arroba in Spanish, but followed by the area of the city, or the colonia. Okay, in Mexico City it's in colonias, so we're going to put Colonia Cuauhtemoc. Okay. Okay, and that way the consultant can see where he has to go, roughly, without having to open up the meeting information. Okay. Next, you need to change your settings so that each meeting is 90 minutes. I'm just going to close this quickly and go to settings here. Settings. Okay, when you start, you will all need to change your time zone to Mexico. Okay, so you can change country to Mexico, your current time zone, Mexico City. Obviously, if you're calling to Costa Rica, change it to Costa Rica. If you're calling to Panama, change it to Panama. Then you can change the default event duration to 90 minutes. If you're calling to Costa Rica, keep it at 60 minutes. Okay, and then save. Okay, we're going to go back to this. So we've got the title, and it should automatically go to 90 minutes, so 8:30 till 10. And then all we're going to do is copy and paste the meeting info template from our notes into the calendar description. Okay, so there we've got all the information of the meeting. All right, you're also going to be recording the audio of the meeting using an application, and you're going to save this to Google Documents or Dropbox, and you can insert the link for the audio down here. So please ensure that every meeting you book is recorded and that you insert a link to the audio file into the meeting info, and in that way the consultant can listen to the audio just to get a better feeling for how the meeting is going to be. Okay, In terms of location, where, we're going to copy and paste the address from here. Okay. And we want the color to be orange, like this. Okay. Now, right now, if we save it, obviously it's just going to be on your personal calendar, okay, which is absolutely useless. So we want to invite the consultant to the meeting, and I would also like you to invite me to the meeting so that I can keep a track of everything. The way we do this is you go to Add Guests here. First, you want to allow the guest to modify the event. So all three of these should be ticked. Next, you go to the enter email addresses, and you're going to add me to the meeting. My email is premierprospectingla@gmail.com. You're going to add me to the meeting, and then you're also going to go to the consultant and add him to the meeting. In this case, we booked the meeting for Elliot St. James because we were looking at his agenda and we saw he was going to Santa Fe, so we booked it for him. Okay, we can copy and paste his calendar email ID and go back, paste that in there, add. Okay, and that is pretty much it. So then we just save and we say OK. So we send the invitations to guests, and now it should be showing in the other consultant's agenda. Okay. We refresh that. There we go. So it's showing there in his agenda, Elliot's agenda. And my agenda. You can't see it there. Let's refresh. There we go. Okay. So then the consultant can open the calendar and have all the information, the address, the contact information. He will be able to listen to the audio file so long as you insert that. And that's it, pretty much done. When you confirm the meetings, you will need to update the calendar, okay? So there's one of a few things which is going to happen. So you're going to have the meeting in the agenda. You're going to send a confirmation email to the prospect, which I will show you how to do in another video. When it gets closer to the day of the meeting, usually the day before the meeting, or if the meeting is in the late afternoon, sometimes we do it in the morning previous to the meeting, we're going to call the prospect again and rebook them, not rebook, sorry, we're going to confirm the meeting by telephone, okay? So we're just going to do a quick call and say, hello, Mr. Client, I'm just calling to reconfirm your meeting with my boss, Elliot Dixon, for tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Are we definitely confirmed? And the client's going to say one of a few things. Could either be, no, I've decided I'm not interested anymore. Okay? In that case, we put cancelled. Okay? Cancelled is only used when the client has cancelled the meeting permanently. So they say, I'm just not interested. I've decided I don't want to have the meeting. Okay, so we change it to cancelled and we update the color to red. Okay, and then we save. Send to the prospect. Send an update to the others, and it's going to show as cancelled in their agenda so they know not to go. The other thing that could happen is they say, I'm sorry, I have another meeting. I need to postpone the meeting, but I am interested in having it, so please call me next week and we can reschedule. Okay? In that case, you update it to postponed. Thirdly, they're going to say, yes, the meeting is confirmed. In which case, we update the title to confirmed. and that's the three options of how the meeting